Since I was discussing the resistor colors earlier, and I don't want to mislead anybody in any way and properly tell you the right thing because I've done a little more reading, these two resistors, as I mentioned earlier, are white, white, orange. Okay, white, white, orange. And in the part list, one of them's marked wrong, which is not unusual, but you'll see it's supposed to be a 0.1 meg, and they have it brown, black, green, but it's part number 6099, 0.1 meg. We come up here, 0.1 meg, part number 6099, white, white, yellow. Of course, mine are white, white, orange. Okay, so they're both white, white, orange. We've determined that much. Going back to Phil's radio workbench, we look up the part number 6099. It's supposed to be 99,000, which is 0.1 meg, basically the same thing, 100,000 or 99,000. Okay, we look at the color chart. We have a body that is white. First number is 9. We have a tip that is white. Second number is 9. We have a dot that is orange. 3 zeros, 99,000, just like Chuck Schwartz's website said. However, our part list says it's white, white, yellow, which would actually be 990,000, which it is not. It is 99,000. So the part list has the colors marked wrong, but they are supposed to be 99,000. I have tested them both. One of them was 75K, and one of them was 89K. To me, that's close enough. I'm not going to change them. I'd rather leave original parts in here if I can, and I don't think their tolerances were any better than 20% back in the day. And what, like 80,000 out of 100,000 would be 20%. So even the one that's 75K, it's a bit lower than 20%, but it's close. I'm not going to change them out. So those are those two. This one is correct, and this one tested pretty good. This is a yellow, white, yellow, yellow, white, or yellow, white, yellow actually, because it's a yellow body, no dot, and a white end. That should be 500,000, and it tested out at like 530 or something like that. It was very close. I was surprised how good that one is. So those are my resistors. The capacitor in here I have determined is just a single capacitor. It's a 0.015 capacitor, so I'll be changing that, and that simply goes from this pin here to this pin here. I've already clipped the pins out. Now what you do is, if you've never seen this, and I don't know, I'm not going to put it on camera because John, our friend Joe Arnunn, John, down in Arkansas, does great videos of Philcos, and I don't need to repeat what he's done necessarily. These are filled with black tar potting material, and you simply wrap this thing in tin foil to shield it from the rest of the board if you want to leave it soldered in, which I'm going to for most of it. And then you heat it up with a Wagner heat gun, and that melts that. And then you just take something pointy like this, and you push it through from here, and it'll pop right out. Once it pops out, you clean it out with a little alcohol, maybe a little lacquer thinner if you really want to clean it good, and then you put your new capacitors in the empty Bakelite block. It's as simple as that. I won't show all that on video though. So the main thing I wanted to show was these resistor tolerances and how the colors are in the old Philco resistors, and that these are basically good as far as I'm concerned. Thanks for watching. Alright, I know I said I wasn't going to show this, but I keep changing my mind. So I basically flipped this block over, wrapped it in tin foil to shield it from the rest of the board chassis, and I'm heating it. You can see the tar is melting in there, and I'm going to heat it all around, and I'll be right back. So one thing I'll mention, you're not trying to heat it so much that you're causing the tar to drip out. You just want to soften it enough so it releases from the sides and pops out. And I think I'm probably about there. And I've discovered that with trial and error. In fact, when you overheat them, it just makes more of a mess because you just get the drippy, tarry stuff coming out. If it's really tar, I don't know what it is. I think it's harder than tar. It's some kind of combination of tar and wax. All right, let's see what we got here. So I flipped it over, and now I'm taking my pen, and you can use like even a super skinny screwdriver, like a jeweler's screwdriver, anything will fit in these holes. And I'm trying to do it one-handed, but I'm pushing down through these holes, working that tar ball out of there. And you'll see it's starting to release and come out. It's sticking out a little bit. I can't get this all in camera, but I'm going to keep pushing away at that until it's out all the way, then I'll show it to you. Speaking of jeweler's screwdrivers, I switched to one because the end of that pointy thing I had is tapered. I'm going to get the last little push here on camera. By the way, this rag's here because I'm grabbing it with the rag because this sucker gets hot. You could even wear a glove doing this. When you're heating it, it obviously gets hot. Let's see if we can push this out on camera. There it goes. It's falling out the end. And there is our liberated tar block. And that's the capacitor, which is just rolled foil in wax type paper with a lead coming out either end, which I showed you where I clipped those off. That's a .015. These have numbers on them, and I've never had a correlation of the number with the value. It says 19 on it. I suppose that meant something to them in the factory. They must have known that was a .015 somehow. I don't know, but that's it. Now I'm going to clean that out with some alcohol, like isopropyl alcohol, and put the new capacitor in.